Builds credibility when you're willing to admit when you've gotten something wrong. And by the way, remember, this is what she said when Joe Biden ultimately ended up dropping out of the presidential race.
Just thinking about the president right now, what a man, what a patriot.
Girl, the American public were getting boring every night with your MSNBC show. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Go outside and talk to real people. She is so out of touch with ordinary people. It is amazing.
Anna Kasparian clashed with MSNBC's star Rachel Maddow in a fiery podcast exchange that sent shockwaves through the left. Many were surprised she would openly challenge someone in her own political circle. So what sparked this showdown? And what did Kasparian say that left everyone stunned? This one's pure heat.
Has been disqualified from running for the presidency by anything having to do with any of his performance. It's just that it's going to be a tough fight. And so I think the backup plan is fight harder. The backup plan is make sure you win the Senate. The backup plan is people should volunteer earlier and do more and give more money and do all of those things.
That was MSNBC host Rachel Maddow back in June of 2024. And keep that in mind when you consider that Semaphore spoke to key media figures across digital, print, and legacy media, Republicans and Democrats, to discuss the things that they got wrong in 2024.
So Anna starts by playing an old clip of Rachel Maddow boasting about her 2024 predictions. Maddow and her network had loudly claimed Biden was fully fit to run, dismissing signs of decline as harmless slip-ups. They pushed that narrative hard until it fell apart and they quickly changed course.
That video you just watched, Rachel Maddow did get some things wrong. The question is, did she learn a damn thing about it? Well, rather than citing her real mistakes and terrible predictions, she actually ended up blaming her audience. So here's her statement to Semaphore. She said, "I thought people would be more unnerved by JD Vance. Less the cat lady thing and more the Americans are going to have to get over the dictator phobia Mencius Moldbug thing." Now, if you're unfamiliar with Mencius Moldbug, that's a pseudonym for Curtis Yarvin, and Curtis Yarvin is someone who's against liberal democracy and is in favor of a monarchy, though he seems to have a tough time defending that position. Cenk Uygur actually interviewed him about it, and it was embarrassing if you ask me.
And that's their pattern every time. When predictions fail, they don't own it. Instead, they gaslight the audience into thinking we misunderstood. Legacy media once claimed Trump would lose by a razor-thin margin, but when proven wrong, they blamed the viewers. Maddow did the same, confidently predicting Biden would run in 2024. And when that fell apart, she spun it as a noble, circumstantial exit instead of admitting failure.
October 1st, Gallup released the following poll comparing voter ratings between Tim Walz, who was the VP pick for Kamala Harris, and JD Vance. And yeah, I mean, she is right that people didn't seem to fear JD Vance as much as she was hoping for. So at that point in time, in October of 2024, less than half of registered voters nationally had a positive view of Tim Walz or JD Vance. A combined 46% rate Walz as either an excellent or pretty good choice versus 41% for JD Vance. And despite Walz's slight lead on this measure, the two were equally likely to be rated as poor choices. Just under 4 in 10 voters see each as such. So she is right that people didn't buy into the fear-mongering about JD Vance as much as she hoped for, but to kind of pivot to what she believes her audience got wrong, or the Democratic voters got wrong, or voters in general got wrong, instead of taking ownership of the thing she got wrong, is kind of amazing.
When the Biden fiasco blew up, Rachel Maddow quickly shifted focus to JD Vance, claiming the public wouldn't support him and preferred Tim Walz. But a follow-up report showed people actually liked Vance, who energized Trump's base. Maddow didn't admit she was wrong. Instead, she twisted the story, spinning half-truths and gaslighting her audience. It's the same old trick. When facts don't fit their narrative, they rewrite the script and hope no one notices. We noticed.
For dictatorphobia, Mencius Moldbug thing. What are you talking about? So look, I interviewed Curtis Yarvin, as Anna pointed out, so I know what she's talking about. The average person doesn't. And nobody knows about Curtis Yarvin. And yeah, he's comical and ridiculous, and that's why I'm worried about J.D. Vance and Donald Trump, and that's why I voted against them. But the average guy doesn't know that Curtis Yarwood is in favor of a monarchy, which is actually a dictatorship, which is what J.D. Vance was, the fact that J.D. Vance is in favor of that is problematic, etc. So, one, out of touch with what actual human beings are going through. They're worried about gas prices and food prices. They're not worried about Mencius mold bug, who they've never heard of. And secondly, and even more importantly, she's saying, damn it, the fear-mongering didn't work.
Beyond the usual fear-mongering, Democrats and Rachel Maddow launched full-scale attacks on Trump and J.D. Vance, going beyond criticism to extreme character assassination. They portrayed Trump as the devil and Vance as a dangerous boogeyman ready to destroy America. Maddow warned that a Trump-Vance ticket would end democracy, civil rights, and even Western civilization. But this wasn't about informing voters. It was a scare campaign disguised as analysis. When none of it happened, they quietly moved on with no apologies or accountability, just spin.
Amazing that, look, I'm always amazed at the, allergic reaction to any self-reflection at all. It's okay to admit that you got things wrong. It's actually admirable when people admit, especially people in media who are supposed to be, sharing accurate information. It's okay to say, look, I got that wrong. In fact, we're going to give you examples of people who actually did take ownership, and I give them a lot of credit for that. It builds credibility when you're willing to admit when you've gotten something wrong.
Credibility? These media outlets and their favorite journalists threw that out long ago. Their focus is on eyeballs and ideology, selling both to the highest bidder. Their goal isn't truth, but controlling the narrative. They hooked audiences with outrage-filled headlines. Years ago, they realized bashing Trump wasn't just politics, it was big business. Every scandal and insult brought clicks, ratings, and money. They built a media economy around tearing him down, feeding their audience a constant stream of hate and hysteria, not because it was true, but because it sold. Truth became optional, drama was mandatory, and profiting from it was essential.
This is what she said when Joe Biden ultimately ended up dropping out of the presidential race.
Just thinking about the president right now, what a man, what a patriot. What an act of selfless devotion to your country. And he has been a phenomenal president. He ended the presidency of Donald Trump at one disastrous term. And he did it while being decent and civil and honorable.
But we all know how it ended. Biden didn't just stumble. He drove the economy into a severe slump. Prices soared, paychecks shrank, and the recovery felt more like a slow bleed. Meanwhile, the southern border became a revolving door with millions entering unchecked, while the administration pretended all was under control. On the world stage, America's reputation took a nosedive. Respected allies doubted us, and enemies mocked us. Through it all, Rachel Maddow stuck to her narrative with no retractions or doubts, doubling down and hoping viewers would forget. But America remembers, and her record on Biden is clear.
That is the first presidential debate of the 2024 election cycle at a very unusual time with very unusual format, and I think with probably strange results. We'll see the response from both sides. But if you're the Biden campaign, I think you wish that this night will be remembered in reverse as the president became sort of stronger, including literally his voice, the strength of his voice over the course of the night, probably peaking towards the very, very end of the debate. For the Trump campaign, I think it's fair to say it was the inverse. President Trump, just in terms of his coherence and finishing a sentence and seeming to be in control of his own emotions, started off as strong as he was. The strongest point for him was at the very beginning of the debate, and then over the course of the night, he became less coherent and more visibly flustered.
When Biden stumbled badly during the presidential debate, sending Democrats into panic, Rachel Maddow claimed he nailed it. While the country saw Biden fumble and freeze live, Maddow saw strength and clarity. That's when she lost credibility for me. Independent media and Democrat strategists agreed Trump dominated and Biden looked lost, but Maddow doubled down, dismissing the meltdown as leadership. Whether delusional or condescending, her spin was shameless. Maddow didn't just ignore the truth, she buried it in denial, hoping followers wouldn't notice. Newsflash, we did, and we're not buying it.
At a time when boring was absolutely what we needed. And I just, his career of decades in public service as a senator and as a very successful vice president and as a phenomenally successful president, there is no single thing that he has done in that entire career that is a greater or more consequential act of service and sacrifice to this country.
Girl, the American public were getting boring every night with your MSNBC show. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Go outside and talk to real people. She is so out of touch with ordinary people. It is amazing.
The smug media avoided middle America during Biden's term, preferring experts who echoed their views. They lived in a bubble of arrogance, like the naked king surrounded by courtiers praising his invisible robes. These elites mistook their inner circle's applause for the nation's voice, blind to shifting realities. When the truth hit, polls, public anger, hard facts, they acted shocked. Some, like Mehdi Hasan, admitted mistakes and even apologized, earning credibility Maddow lost. The real issue isn't making errors, but refusing to admit them and gaslighting audiences instead. Maddow chose arrogance over honesty, doubling down and spinning false narratives. From defending Biden's debate to fearmongering about Trump and Vance, her credibility collapsed. The public saw through it all. Trust once lost can't be bought back with slick talk. Maddow played herself. If you like this video, hit like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. See you next time.